guys, it's Kat and I'm back today to do an update on my no buy. So I announced last month that for the next few months, so until the end of the year, I want to do a no buy. I want to not buy any makeup, not buy any products for myself. Happy to buy food, obviously, happy to buy things for my son, but anything for me, no. And the reason I decided to do that was simply because I've got an abundance of stuff. We've been in lockdown for the longest time, and throughout winter, which we're in spring now, I was doing a little bit of like feel good shopping. I bought a new dressing gown, which I have on my lap here. I bought a whole bunch of period underpants, so I never have to buy pads or tampons ever again. I bought like a whole bunch of stuff, and even though I really like all the stuff I bought, my spending was getting a little bit out of control. So I thought what I want to do is challenge myself to buy nothing. And I was going to talk about it here, let you know how I'm going, what I'm struggling with, what I'm enjoying, all that kind of stuff. But also what I decided to do was write down like a temptation list. That was a suggestion. I'll put the person who left that suggestion on the screen. Thank you for that suggestion. Love the name of the list. It's such a good idea. And I thought this was going to be interesting because it sort of shows you where my head's at and also how much money I've potentially saved by not buying these products this past month. Now, I can confirm I've only bought one thing for myself, but it was a necessity. I'd lost my material mask. I didn't know where it was. I couldn't find it. So I decided to buy another one. I think that was about 20 bucks. Of course, the day that it was going to be delivered, I found it in a jacket pocket. So now I've got two, which is great because it means I don't have to like wash it overnight, wait for it to dry. So I bought a mask. But in this day and age, and especially in Melbourne where it's illegal not to wear a mask outside, that's like buying a new pair of underpants if you've got no underpants. So yeah, I spent 20 bucks, but it was a sensible purchase. All right, so I've actually found the last month probably fairly refreshing. Now, I think that is a reflection of the fact that I needed a no buy. I also explained that we're looking at buying a house, but I was sort of saving money, and the more I spent, I sort of didn't feel like, I sort of felt like it was just for the sake of buying stuff. It was getting a little bit empty and it was getting quite wasteful. So I actually feel like I was really ready for a no buy because it's been a really refreshing month. Not looking at my emails and seeing the sales and not really caring and knowing that I can't buy anything, it sort of almost lifted a weight off my shoulders. And you don't have to worry about, oh, is my parcel lost? And is this coming? And has this arrived? And da-da-da-da-da. None of that. Nothing's arrived. It's all been good. So it's actually been a really, really refreshing, easy month so far. Now, I think the disclaimer is that since we're in lockdown and only essential shops are open, it means that I haven't been able to browse things. The only things I go to is like the supermarket and the chemist and the post office. So once things open up, which should be in about 2 weeks, I feel like that's when the hard stuff's going to happen because Charlotte Tilbury came to Mecca in Australia. It's the first time Charlotte Tilbury has been available in store. And even though I've had no temptations to browse online, because I've browsed Charlotte Tilbury online multiple times, I do feel like there may be a temptation to impulse buy when I go into store and swatch and play. So I feel like next month when things open up, or later this month when things open up, that's where I'm gonna struggle a bit more. But so far it's been really cruisy. In saying that though, there have been products that I've been interested in, or just things in general that I've come across and I'm like, oh, if I was buying stuff, I would look further into that. So I'll just go through it. The first one that's always sort of been on my, I guess, temptation list for the better part of a year is actually the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Now, this is a cool toned palette. At the moment, I'm vibing cool toned eyeshadows. I have been for about 6 months now. And the reason I didn't buy this when it launched last year was because I just bought the bronze palette and I didn't love the bronze palette because it was too sort of orange toned. I was sort of expecting it to be a little bit more brown. And when they released the Glam palette, I'm like, that would have been something I would have preferred over the bronze. So I was a bit pissed that I didn't wait and I didn't buy the one that I really would have loved. So I've sort of boycotted myself from buying it. However, it is 100 Australian dollars, and whenever I see a Sephora sale of like 20% off, I've always had it in the back of my mind. So it is a temptation, and it did pop up again this month. So what I ended up doing was playing with some existing makeup that I've got. One that I was playing with a little bit was that taupe palette from Colourpop. It's got some sort of cool toned taupe shades. I did receive in PR, so I did explain in last video, I do get some PR, not much, and I have tried to take myself off quite a few PR lists, so I don't get too much, but I did get this Sigma Cinderella palette, and there are some nice cool tones in here that I've been playing with as well, especially this sort of silvery shade. It creates a really beautiful sort of silvery blue lid, and mixed with just a brown or something. It's been a really nice way to incorporate some cool tone eyeshadows. I did also play around with my Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership Subliminal Platinum Bronze palette. Now I don't like this. It is cool toned. It looks like it would be right up my alley. But it seems just a little bit muddy and a little bit murky. So I am trying to create some cooler tone looks to sort of satisfy that urge, but the urge is still there. I'm not gonna lie, it's still there. A few other things that I was thinking of buying in terms of makeup, there was the Stacey Marie Carnival liquid eyeshadows. I was particularly looking at the shade Venom and Elixir. Now these are $19.95 each in Australia, and I was looking at 2 of them. So that's $39.90 plus shipping. I'm glad I didn't buy those. So when I ordered the Stacey Marie Carnival, the Antidote palette, which I did a review of, that was the last makeup purchase that I hopefully have made for the year. These weren't yet in the store, so I didn't add them to my cart, and I'm sort of glad that's the case because I didn't really like the palette. So in hindsight, good thing. I think I would have regretted buying them. Another thing I was looking at, I did my foundation review where I sort of tried and reviewed the foundations in my collection, and I remember editing that and being like, oh, I really like that Kat Von D True Portrait foundation, and I know that it was I don't think they're phasing it out because it was always like half price, and I was looking at buying a backup before it goes, and that would have been around $28.50. So that's half price. So if I wasn't doing a no buy, I possibly would have ordered that along with the Natasha Denona Glam palette from Sephora. So yeah, luckily that was just like, no, but that was where my head was going. Another palette that I was interested in, the NARS Climax eyeshadow palette. That launched in Australia. It's 70 Australian dollars. It's quite expensive, but I really do like NARS formula. It's really flattering, easy to work with, good for, you know, aging skin, eyes with texture, whatnot. I think they're really flattering. And the color story was getting into the slightly murkier, sort of smoky greens. I liked it. This is one of those products that, again, if stores were open and I swatched it and I loved it, there could have been an impulse purchase. But online, the temptation wasn't quite there. So yeah, that's gonna be, we're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it in store. I was having a chat with a couple of friends last week, and we were talking a lot about skincare and skincare recommendations, and the CeraVe SA range popped up. So I was looking at the moisturizer, the cleanser, and the foot cream. So the SA range, I believe it's got salicylic acid in it for SA, and I heard they're very, very good. And I was like, well, I like basic skincare that's really good and effective, and I'm almost out of foot cream as well. So I was like, that is something that I sort of want to go and get, and they're currently available, or they were available on sale at Chemist Warehouse. All up, they would have been about $40. So that was one thing I was looking at as well. In terms of non-makeup related stuff, one purchase that I avoided but sort of flagged my interest and got me sort of browsing. I did buy a couple months ago a pack of Zero Co sort of house cleaning products. So Zero Co is a brand where they take plastic from oceans, they recycle it into making bottles, and then what you do is you buy the bottle, you buy the pouch of products. So whether it's like dishwashing detergent, multi-purpose surface spray, toilet cleaner, whatever it happens to be. And then you send back the empty pouch for them to refill and sell to someone else. And then you just buy the refills. And so it's a way of having zero waste. So I bought that a few months ago when I was doing my excessive shopping, and I really like the idea of having no waste, and not even the pouches. You don't even throw the pouches away, you send them, you return them. They have a return paid envelope. So I had an email from that brand saying that if you spent over a certain amount, you're going to get free shipping. So I was looking at doing buying a refill pack of all the products that I bought, and that would have been $89. So I didn't do that. I realized you don't need them just yet. You're not finished yet. Calm down. And even though that's probably something that I will buy in the future, I didn't buy it this month when I didn't need it. So that saved me $89. I saw an ad on Facebook for 9 pine pants. They looked really comfortable and really flattering. They probably wouldn't be. Pants look horrible on me, but they were $125 and I didn't buy them. But again, I was having a good browse on their website. So that was one thing that piqued my interest. And probably if this was a couple of months ago and I was in my like winter purchasing sort of comfort buying zone, I possibly would have bought those. And the last thing that I was tempted to buy, which I think I only saw this maybe yesterday or earlier today, I noticed that the Birkenstocks that have the limited edition Gorman designs are currently on sale at Gorman for $84.50. These are all Australian dollars, obviously, and that's 50% off. And even though I don't love the designs, I am wanting to buy just plain black Birkenstocks when my no buy is over. For half price, I was like, look, I can just buy them and wear them to the shops and get use out of them, because when I was pregnant back in 2019, with the swollen feet and whatnot, I ended up buying some Birkenstocks and I wear them all the time. I love them. So I have been looking at buying another pair, and if I wasn't on a no buy, I probably would have bought one of the Gorman print pairs for 50% off. So if I did end up buying all of that last month, it would have been $492.40 worth of stuff that I do not need, and I'm living happily without. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have bought everything, but I could have easily bought half of what's on that list if I wasn't keeping myself in check. There were a couple of close calls, and these are really, really basic, petty things. I lost my nail polish base coat for a long time, for half the month, and my nail polish, I was putting a top coat on under my nail polish and it would just chip off after like 2 days, like completely just chip off. So I was really tempted to go buy a base coat. Luckily, I was like, no, you go find it, and I found it. So I'm good. I don't need to buy a base coat. And same goes for hair clips. I was like, okay, I'm out of hair clips. I don't know where they are. I should just go buy some. And then I was like, no, you've got plenty hidden around the house. Go find them, which I did. And I've got hair clips, so I'm fine. So yeah, so far this has been really easy, but I think when things start to open up, things are going to become a lot harder, because I'm really looking forward to just going and browsing shops. I need to go buy my son the next size up in like summer clothes. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of browsing, probably catching up with friends at a cafe, actually seeing people and getting out and being excited to be out and about and shop. And I'm sure there's going to be a couple of slip-ups when that does happen. I hope it's not going to be too bad and I might keep myself in check. But that's where I think the temptation is really going to come in. All right, so that's my update. Let me know if you're doing a no buy or a low buy and how you're going with it. There were a lot of good tips and suggestions on my introduction video to this series. So thank you so much to everyone who gave me tips on what works for you and how you keep your spending in check. Yeah, it was really good to read. So if you were interested in those tips, you can just go back to that video, and the comment section is very insightful. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.